One Piece chapter 1151, it is titled I Get the Idea. The cover page continues with Yamato's cover story as she entered a sumo tournament, and she sends Urashima, the sumo wrestler that Luffy defeated, this is his big brother, she sends him flying. I don't know about y'all, I'm tired about the cover story. I don't know if it's Yamato, I don't know if it's the other characters, or I just don't know if the cover story is just boring in general and just flat out uninteresting. But regardless, let's get into chapter 1151's breakdown. Kashi tries his best to talk to Dory and Brogy, just trying to get them to snap out of their demon side and return to normal. All the giants, they have looked up to Elder Zoro, and he's basically a living legend. Brogy's like, yeah, you know, he may be a legend, but he's old, and it's our job to put him out of his misery. And once they do that, Dory and Brogy, they're gonna become the kings of Elbaph, and they're gonna turn the country back into the battle-hungry, war-savage violence that's a complete 180 from what King Harold wanted. The comment about Zoro being old, yes, he is old, he is a fossil, but also we know what happens with these old people in One Piece, how they get down, how they still got it. So I wonder, based off of what Zoro said in the last chapter, how warriors, they don't run from a challenge, I wonder if he's going to fight. I would love to see him fight. I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to win. A lot of these old characters, they typically fight, maybe showcase a little bit of their strength and just stall for time. So maybe he can do that until Luffy and his group arrive. Talking to these two, it is not going anywhere, and unfortunately Thornman, he ends up flipping sides as well. Oda is using the Chinese game Go to represent the switching of sides, with the stones flipping, similar to CP0 during Wano. And if you're unfamiliar with the game Go, it's basically a strategy game where two players, they aim to fence off more territory than their opponents. Now Go, it's not played the same like other games, but there is a level of strategy and intellect needed, similar to games like chess, checkers, and shogi. With the Domi Reversi, it looks like if someone is just in the vicinity, then that can change, and it's even people against their will. So I have a question. If that's the case, then how the heck are people going to fight them? Thorman did make a statement, I'm trapped between them, so maybe being surrounded or being within the group, it causes you to flip. I also wonder if this has something to do with haki. We saw Law state that after fighting with an emperor, if he uses haki, he can overcome strong devil fruits, which is true. But that begs the question, is the Domi Reversi a devil fruit technique? Maybe the specific haki that is needed is conquerors, since that has more to do with willpower over just any specific techniques. And instead of imbuing your attacks in conquerors, maybe the next step would be to coach yourself in conquerors to act like a barrier, kind of like Ken in Hunter x Hunter, or if you coach yourself with cursed energy like in Jujutsu Kaisen. I'd say that probably would make a lot of sense, especially with the amount of conquerors haki users that are in the underworld. But then at the same time, it kind of limits who all can fight different people that have been turned with the Domi Reversi, and not just about Elbaph, but just if you look at the final war as well, it's not really going to be that many characters that can fight Imu's army. So we're going to have to see a little bit more about the Domi Reversi and actually what the weakness is. Killingham is supercharging his nightmares because of Imu's orders in the last chapter, and he is no longer holding back. And in this chapter, Oda showcased Killingham's design in his hybrid form. My boy looks cool. He looks sick. I ain't gonna lie. I dare say that he is the coolest out of the Holy Knights, which is a complete 180 to his original zone form, because, well, that one looked like trash. I don't know if I like Killingham, Shamrock, or Garling the most. I think maybe it's Killingham. I think the Garling and Shamrock love is because they look a lot like Shanks and are a part of the Figureland family. I think that's where my bias is. Killingham looks fire. He also has sharp teeth, and he kind of looks human. So I wonder if Oda just decided just to either give him this design, or if he's a fishman human hybrid like Dellinger. All right, Usopp, my boy, it's your time to shine, baby. You wanted to come to Elbaph, you wanted to learn from Dory and Brogy, you wanted to become a brave warrior sea. Well, now it's your time. It's up to you to save Elbaph, and specifically your masters, Dory and Brogy. Elbaph is based off of warrior's pride, and right now, Dory and Brogy, they have no pride. So Usopp, you're gonna have to become a brave warrior of the sea and challenge them if you truly support your ideals. Elbaph is probably in the most chaos that it's been through right now. Flames, monsters, briars, demons, giants, they're everywhere. Sabo, he talked about it being hell at Mary Joa. Kid talked about Kaido and Big Mom being hell. This one might take the cake, because It looks like hell. This is going to continue until the heart of Elbaph breaks and the giants have no choice but to serve under Emu, because without Harald's blunder in the critical hour a long time ago, Emu would have already had this island under its dominion. So I find it funny and pretty ironic how a lot of people are hating on Loki, saying that he's this big bad guy. Nah, he probably saved Elbaph. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I put out different One Piece content almost each and every day. Chopper is falling down to the underworld. He's falling down with Gaban and he's trying his best to save him. This kind of reminds me of when Zoro and Chopper were falling down during Skypiea and Zoro had to save Chopper back then. Of course, the scene's a little bit different now, but Chopper, he's the one that is doing the saving instead of being saved. As they fell into the underworld, the group noticed that someone fell, but Luffy, he's the only one that could specifically point out that it was Chopper and someone was hurt with him. We know that haki is something that isn't being used 24/7, and honestly, any non-natural ability that you aren't using at the time, you're not going to be using it 24/7. If you want an example, think of Gojo's Infinity. Technically, he's always using it, but there have been times where he's been showcased to turn it off, but he can use it as easy as he would be breathing. So this begs the question, has Luffy reached another level where he can use observation haki without even needing to turn it on? And once you've achieved a certain mastery, maybe even achieving future sight, that's how this is done. And so this is what it means to have peak observation haki. Imagine having a sixth sense that's on all the time. Yeah, that would be pretty broken. While the group is going to Chopper, Loki, he gets a call from Shaggy, and apparently Shaggy won't be able to use the transponder snail for a while. So essentially, this is Shaggy saying thank you to Loki for spending time with him. Loki had asked if they were in danger again, and at first I thought they were at Mary Jawad because of the flames that are happening on the Holy Land, but then I thought maybe it could be someone of the sun or the heaven world because, well, you know, Elbaph is going through it right now. I have no clue who this person is. I'm not gonna lie, there's literally nothing to go off of, so we have no clue where this person is located, who they are. If you guys have any ideas, hey, I'm all ears. Let me know in the comment. As they retrieve Chopper, Luffy finds out that Gaban, he is a member of the Roger Pirates, since when that was mentioned, Zoro, Nami, and Luffy, they were in the castle. They were trying to steal the key. I love how Chopper's like, yeah, he's probably the, I don't know, third strongest in the crew. Gaban literally comes back from death's doorstep just to say that he is second. That is petty. It's funny and I love it, because when you talk to your friends, when you're with your boys, you're just chilling, when somebody says that they're better than you at something, if it's clearly no definitive winner, whether you know it's in a race, whether you're playing basketball, video games, you're not just gonna let them talk smack and get away with it. Nah, you're gonna fight back, be like, nah, I'm better than you. Gaban and Rayleigh, they are Zoro and Sanji's parallel, so obviously Gaban is going to say something like this. Of course, the hierarchy is still Luffy, then Zoro, then Sanji, and then for Roger's crew, it was Roger, Rayleigh, and then Gaban. Why do you think that their names are based off of the Olympic medal? Roger would be gold, which is first, Rayleigh would be silver, which is second, and then Gaban, he is bronze, which since bronze is made from copper, he would be third. It's not that hard. This also reminds me of a scene with Sanji in the One Piece fan letter. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Sanji always trying to make sure that people know who the Fluffy is. With Emu having insane conquerors, I was like, how the heck does Luffy and the others down here in the underworld, how do they not notice it? Why haven't they moved yet? Well, this is because Emu didn't unleash this conquerors until after met up with Luffy and was giving him the rundown. I do have to give Emu's conquerors credit because we know how huge Elbaph is, and so the fact that the conquerors was all the way from the sun world and is down to the underworld, yeah, that's an insane haki feat. We got a cool panel of Luffy, Loki, and Hajrudin, but I do want to say it kind of reminds me of the derpy dragon meme, because hey, I respect Hajrudin. I know he wants to protect and save Elbaph, but buddy, you were in an extreme diff fight against Mafai, so what the heck are you gonna do against the Holy Knights and a souped up Dory and Brogy? I also don't love the translation here. They changed it to I get the idea instead of hey Chopper, I got this. I think I got this definitely had more, or this one, not the biggest fan of. I am a little bit hyped though, because I know that Luffy, he is the king of making these dope entrances, and I hope it's on the level of whenever he speed blitz Kizaru. If I had to bet, it's probably going to be something like in Marineford, where Luffy all of a sudden appeared in the sky and then bam, he dropped down and we got a flashback as to what all happened. So it'll probably be like that in chapter 1153, just showcasing, hey, this is how Luffy and the others got here. If I'm being honest, I really want to see Loki and Luffy team up to take on Emu. I think it would be fire. I think it would be dope if we got an introduction similar to Thor and Loki, how they pulled up on Hela and Ragnarok. But that's it for chapter 1151. We are on a break next week, which is unfortunate, but hey, Oda's been cooking. He's been cooking, all right? A chef has to take a break every so often, but let me know how you guys felt about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Find my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok on the screen and in the description below. And don't forget to unleash your potential.